Now for our feature story of the day. DeepSeek AI model predicts Bitcoin bull run peak between 500 and 600,000 per biddy. So let's break this one down. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, in regards to the DeepSeek calling for 180 to 220 Bitcoin cycle top by November 2025. And again, I'm going to share more insights here in a moment. But Max wrote, 220,000 in play as I predicted. I didn't need AI because I communed directly with Satoshi. That's right. Max is always channeling the spirit of Satoshi, and he's been calling for 220,000 for several years. And I know firsthand because I've been covering Max Keiser for several years. He's my favorite Bitcoiner, and finally got to meet the stud over at Bitcoin Country at the Max and Stacey Invitational. And it was amazing. And as you know, he recently just 10x that target, which means he believes we can hit 2.2 million this cycle in the bull scenario. So I take it 220 is his bear scenario, 220 for the bull. But let's dive deeper into this AI model. And let me know if you guys got to experiment with this at all. DeepSeek is the Chinese open source AI model making waves in Silicon Valley. Extremely bullish on the biddy, predicting a potential peak between 500 and 600,000 by the first quarter of 2026, which means by this time next year, broskies. This bold outlook emerged after the AI was asked to factor in both historical models and the on-chain data alongside pro-Bitcoin approach from President Trump. That's what's up. DeepSeek begins by discussing and I wonder when they factor these numbers, if they take into consideration the thousands of my podcast episodes where we discuss all these bullish targets. That'd be crazy if they did factor in JV in there, but anyways, key implications the crypto executive order believes could change the calculus for both the institutional and retail participants. The AI states that the exploration of a national Bitcoin reserve signals institutional validation of the Bitcoin as a strategic asset. If the U.S. government accumulates the biddy, it would create a significant supply shock, driving the prices higher. Thanks, Captain Obvious. As if we needed the AI to tell us that, but you already know. This comment reflects a view that the market could tighten substantially if the large public entities such as national treasuries decide to hold the biddy in the reserve. Furthermore, DeepSeek highlights the possibility that other nations and institutions could follow suit. We call that the global hash war, as Max Keiser coined years ago, or I like to refer to as game theory, which would add the upward price pressure if a wave of competitive accumulation were to ensue. I mean, if the leader of the free world is adopting Bitcoin and putting it on the treasury and purchasing 200,000 biddies per year, stockpiling the biddy, other nations are going to have to or get left behind. That's the game theory in full effect. The AI also remarks that the banning of the CBDC as a Trump admin would be effectively positioning the biddy and other decentralized cryptos as the primary alternative to fiat, which is a bold departure from the policies adopted and explored by many other jurisdictions, including the lizard folks, seeing the CBDCs as a means of maintaining control over the monetary policy of the digital economy. Exactly. DeepSeek believes that regulatory clarity is another fundamental driver likely to magnify the biddy gains. It explicitly points out that the establishment of a crypto working group led by David Sachs suggests a pro-innovation regulatory approach, unlike Gensler, and that such a policy stance is likely to foster a favorable climate for the crypto businesses and financial institutions looking for stable guidelines, because no Claire Gare didn't provide any clarity. And so now he's home getting his shine box, getting ready for my appointment, get my shoes shined this afternoon after the pod before I hit up the basketball courts and play Chandy 10 music a little one-on-one 1v1. I got to get my shoes shined by Gary. The AI argues that this in turn could encourage accelerated institutional inflows and broader mainstream acceptance of Bitcoin, especially if companies are assured that the regulatory framework allows them to innovate without the fear of sudden legal or compliance obstacles. Now, DeepSeek goes on to address the geopolitical aspects of the executive order by saying the U.S. has taken a leadership role in the digital asset space, which could strengthen the dollar's dominance while simultaneously boosting Bitcoin's status as a global store value. And delving into the specific timeline, the AI predicts that any news about the realization of the strategic Bitcoin reserve can trigger a short-lived but potential rally or potent rally, potentially pushing the Bitty to 120, 130 brackets as traders, institutions, and media absorb implications of government-led push for the National Bitcoin Reserve and enhanced regulatory clarity. DeepSeek expects that by the second and third quarters of this year, as conversations around the working group's findings gain the momentum, institutional investors and retail market participants may exhibit what the DeepSeek calls institutional FOMO like a mofo, leading to the jump of the Bitcoin price to 200, 250, ultimately saying Max Kaiser's 220 target in play any day. God candle away, Omega candle away. Will it happen today? The AI model then projects that by the end of 2025, the price might rise further, potentially reaching 300 to 500 Gs. It points to the ongoing speculation about the government's Bitcoin purchases, or at least the possibility of such purchases, as well as the heightened recognition of Bitcoin's role as the global reserve asset. DeepSeek believes this period would be marked by increased media attention, new financial products, enabling the Bitcoin exposure. One thing they didn't factor in: JV's bullishness. Hence, we got to 10x this price. Just saying. The AI's analysis becomes especially dramatic when it turns to the outlook for 2026, tying it into three factors: the aftermath of the 2024 Bitcoin halving, growing interest from the major institutions, and direct involvement of the U.S. government. DeepSeek says Bitcoin can peak at 500 to 600,000 as the market enters euphoria phase. Super cycles ended, suggesting the first quarter of 2026 is most likely time for the spike. So they're ultimately factoring in an extended cycle, hitting the cycle peak the following year. But you let me know your thoughts. Where do you think the pretty little bitty is going next? Let me know, and I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream.